Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, back in 2023. It's been a while. It's been a long while here on the Dukect Lounge since I've been talking to y'all again. Just, doing a lot of things, big things, popping, doing a lot of stuff here. Being a lot more, exploring, doing some other stuff in my life and everything. Just recently came back from MagFest. The vlog will be up hopefully by this weekend. I'm just busy doing a lot of other things to, getting myself situated and all the other stuff, which, by gosh, it has been one of the most insane couple of, 10 days? In fact, it started not just last year and everything. There was so many big things happened in the world of sports and entertainment. I mean, there are so many things we could talk about. I don't know, the Velma new cartoon, which just looks terrible, and I'm not going to watch it even as a hate watcher. I just need to watch the trailer, and that was pretty much it. Or the fact that Avatar basically made over half, almost over around a billion, basically $1.5 and such. Hey, people seem to like it. Yeah, that's good. But no, we ain't talking about all this. No. What we are talking about is the Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. Oh yeah. Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. Return of the Mac. It is, yes, right. The return of Vinnie Mac. He's back. He is back. He's back and ugly as ever. And he is here. He is here just to do talk about all this other stuff that's going on. And we'll talk about other stuff here. But, before let's get to the WWE. I mean, remember, the reason why Vince McMahon is not in power at the moment was the reason why for all of this, and people need to go a little refresher. Vince McMahon retires. Here's right here from Axos. He was reported that he's retiring 5 weeks after the Wall Street Journal first reported that McMahon had secretly paid off a former employee whom he allegedly had an affair. Wall Street Journal reported that McMahon had paid out $12 million to 4 women to cover allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity while acting as chairman and CEO of the company. McMahon stepped down from his role as WWE chairman and CEO last month. And by the way, during that time, he was going out to Raw and SmackDown saying, "I'm staying." Woo! And he had a nice little jump and leap. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to see if I can get that picture. There it is, tab. There we go. Remember this? Remember this, ladies and gentlemen? Remember this, people? I remember this. I remember that type of stuff. And he just skipped through and just hey, this is gonna be I'm gonna be just fine. There he is, old Vinnie Mac, just leaping down. Here it is. He was gonna leap down. And everything was gonna be just fine. I mean, and you know what? He was right at the end. He just leapt down. No one can touch me. Who cares? He left for a little bit. We left a bit. He left for 5 weeks, and oh. But no, you thought it was over. You thought we were free. But no, Vince McMahon, as always, was going to come back. Because, right here, Axios is going to talk about this. Why does this matter? WWE enjoyed one of the most successful runs on Wall Street last year, in part because investors saw McMahon's exit as a takeover opportunity. In returning to negotiate a WWE sale on his own terms, McMahon has crafted a storyline worthy of a company's flagship WrestleMania and such. Yeah, it's a storyline. Ignoring the victims and such. Yeah, just ignore all that stuff. That's just hilarious and all that fun. Isn't that fun, ladies and gentlemen? Isn't that just so much fun? By the way, there's more allegations, by the way. I just want to remind people about all the allegations that Vince has, going through and everything else. Because, these things, let me just see where if I can find these, the allegations. Because, right here, let me see if it's it. This is it. Oh, that's not that one. There has to be more allegations. Here it is. Yeah, let me just share this tab from the New York Post. It says Vince McMahon's alleged rape victim wants XWE boss to pay $11.75 million. Report. Yeah, Rita Charlatan, said that she was, she was the first female wrestler in WWE history. Broke her silence about the alleged rape in 1992, and McMahon long denied it. But there might be something there, and who knows? It takes a long time for these situations to get to light, because Vince McMahon, even back then, was, very rich and very powerful. I mean, 1992, this is before the steroid stuff happened. And even when the steroid stuff happened, he still won. We just forget that the feds lost that case, which is very rare, because more often than not, the feds, they usually get their man. But now old Vinnie Mac, he got away with it. Exactly. But anyway, and here it is. Well, right here, quote. A legal expert who spoke to the Post said that the demand letters from attorneys who seek significant amounts of compensation are often a precursor to a lawsuit. Charleston's attorney, John Clune, demanded $11.75 million in damages from McMahon. He wrote that the effects of McMahon's alleged actions were hard to overstate. Chatterton has suffered years of ongoing depression, substance abuse, distorted eating, lost income, and overall a decreased quality of life, according to the letter. Charlton alleged that McMahon demanded sexual favors from her as a precondition to her receiving a $500,000 a year contract with WWE. He promised me $500,000 a year, she claimed to the New York Magazine earlier this year. Former pro wrestler Leonard Inzetti told the magazine that Charlton confided in him after the alleged rape in 1986. I remember it like it was yesterday, Inzari told the outlet. She was a wreck, she was shaking, she was crying. And Inzari, whose stage name was Mario Mancetti, said soon after the alleged incident, he found Chatterton standing by herself close to the wrestling ring, and when she saw him, she burst into tears and told him she was in McMahon's limo when he took his penis out. He kind of forced my head down there and made it known I wasn't interested, and I made it known I wasn't interested in doing that, Inzari recalled Chatterton telling him, according to the New York Magazine. Then McMahon pulled me on top of him, she claimed to Inzari. Soon after, he was inside her, according to Inzari. Clune declined to comment when reached the Post. Meanwhile, the lawyer for another woman, former spa manager, who alleged she was sexually assaulted by McMahon in a Southern California resort in 2011, has been in regular contact with McMahon's long-term attorney, Jerry McDevitt, since July. According to the Journal, the incident has never been previously reported, the Journal said. The Post reached out to McMahon for comment. He declined to comment when reached by the Journal. The Post also reached for comment from McDivitt, who didn't respond to requests from the Journal. Both New York and California recently passed a law allowing sexual abuse victims a 1-year window to file legal claims beyond the statute of limitations beginning in July. The contents of the demand letter from the spa manager's attorney has not been revealed. Yes, demand letters like the one received by McMahon typically precede lawsuits, especially where the amount demanded is so significant. Robert Feud, a friend, an attorney based in Los Angeles, told the Post. Because McMahon has reportedly said he will not entertain a settlement, the likelihood of a lawsuit to follow is high. According to the Journal, McMahon has told friends that he refuses to pay settlements to Chatterton and the former spa manager. In July, McMahon announced he was retiring as CEO and chairman of WWE after the company launched an investigation into alleged hush money payments he made to several women. McMahon has regretted his decision to step down, a move that he says was the result of bad advice from his inner circle. The mogul now said to believe that he had stayed on CEO, the investigations would have run their course and he could have weathered the storm. Honestly, personally, I think that he probably would have. Anyway, the Wall Street Journal continues. It says, this article continues. The Wall Street Journal was the first to report earlier this year that the McMahon authorized more than $12 million in payments to several women in exchange for their silence on allegations of sexual misconduct and infidelity. McMahon, who initially stepped aside on a temporary basis after it was learned this past spring that he paid $3 million to a paralegal who alleged they had a sexual relationship, was replaced as CEO by his daughter, Stephanie McMahon, and Nick Khan. Vince McMahon was initially supposed to continue overseeing WWE's creative content during the investigation into the paralegal claims. But then the Journal reported that Vince McMahon had agreed to pay the significant larger sum of $12 million. Four women, all formerly affiliated with WWE, signed agreements with Vince McMahon to bar them from discussing their relationships with him. The Journal previously reported, citing people familiar with the deals and documents it revealed. Vince McMahon has said he is cooperating with the company's investigation. Vince McMahon, whose net worth reached an estimated $3.4 billion, turned what was known as the World Wrestling Federation from a fledgling small business into a global powerhouse with generous north of $1 billion of revenue each year. Yeah, and all that stuff. Yeah, and all the other people here. But yeah, this is again these allegations, and these are long-term allegations, and now we get to here. And now, just days after announcing return, McMahon's daughter, Stephanie McMahon, resigned as co-CEO and chairman of the board of WWE while leaving former talent agency executive Nick Khan as the sole CEO. McMahon, who is simultaneously named chairman of the board, has said just days before that WWE has an exceptional management team in place, and I don't intend for my return to have any impact on their roles, duties, or responsibilities. And there it is. Yeah, Stephanie McMahon left. Sources told Axios that Stephanie McMahon and her husband, Paul Levisik, Triple H, the company's chief content officer and retired pro wrestler, had opposed a sale. This article continues. As controlling shareholder of the company, McMahon was able to elect himself as chairman through a written consent order. In doing so, he appointed former WWE co-presidents Michelle Watson and George Barrios to the board. And to the sake of WWE set directors Joanne, Elias Dillon, Jeffrey Speed, and Alan Resker were ousted from the board. WWE's board. Months later, the company issued a press release saying two more members, Ignace Lahoud and Manjit Singh, resigned effective immediately. And, yep. And, yeah, and It continues on. Even during his brief exodus from the company, he ran for 4 decades. McMahon held all the power as WWE controlling shareholder. No deal was ever going to happen without his blessing, and his comeback, while tumultuous, has been well received by Wall Street. WWE stock jumped more than 20% since McMahon's return, pushing the company's market cap to over $6.6 billion from roughly $4 billion just a few years ago. And there's a lot of supposed buyers, including Comcast, Disney, Apple, and Amazon. And unconfirmed reports that circulate that the Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, the Region Sovereign Wealth Fund, was going to be, they were going to have a deal. A lot of people were just like this, like past Tuesday. A lot of people made that stuff is. And in fact, I believe I tweeted, I tweeted that I wouldn't go to WrestleMania. I still am not going to it because honestly, it's just the money and all that stuff. Not really all this type of stuff here, but to me, it's just I don't know. It just seems like I was like, all this all the trauma, all that type of stuff, which it's not really all the craziness and everything, and the amount of the booking and such. I just didn't want to, and even better, I just felt like I was like, I don't care. I was like, I honestly did not. I was like, I was pretty much done. Honestly, I felt I was just done with WWE. I felt like, yeah, that was my response. I was just like, I'm not going to WrestleMania. And now, with the Saudi deal, it was like, oh, now Saudi, you're going to go to WrestleMania? I'm like, no, I'm still not going to. I mean, I think most of the tickets are probably all sold out. And honestly, WrestleCon, not really exciting. I know, they just, AEW, at Ring of Honor, Supercard was going to be there. I was like, nah. I even know that it looks good. The car looks nice and everything. I still didn't want to go. That's just me. But yeah, it just, that sort of stuff. But here we are. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. But here's something interesting as well. One of the people here was Endeavor. Owned by Ari Emanuel, by the way. It's very interesting. Vince, it says right here, this is very interesting by AJ Perez. It says, can Endeavor handle Dana White and Vince McMahon? Let's see, this is an article here. Vince McMahon is returning to WWE and he's looking to sell. But anyone thoughts of acquiring WWE has to weigh the baggage and scandals come with McMahon. One of those would-be suitors appears to be Endeavor. The entertainment giant president Mark Shapiro discussed the property on the Ringers podcast in October. When it comes to buying WWE, yes, that would be something interesting and would be worth exploring. Would we buy it? Who knows? The actions of another unapologetic macho ruthless combat sports exec could make these questions hard to answer. UFC Dana White had a fine conversation with his wife on New Year's Eve in Mexico, where it was caught on video that emerged on TV just slapping and assaulting his wife. And then they all said, oh, it was a mistake and everything. It was all that. It was like, yeah. Yeah, that's that. Then they all wanted to move on. And this goes on. Article continues on. With Endeavor, which owns UFC, is led arguably by Hollywood's top power broker Ari Emanuel, requiring WWE and let McMahon run the company in the aftermath of White's domestic incident. And if they do, Endeavor does, he probably says, yeah, sure. Because they're not going to really do anything with Dana White. I mean, let me just look here on what Dana White's, I think he had a very laughable punishment for himself. And here it is. Let me just see if I can find. Let's see. Where is it? Oh, yeah. Let's see. right here. UFC President Dana White announces no punishment for himself. Exactly. He says, I investigated in myself and I did nothing wrong. UFC President Dana White acknowledged the criticism he received over his physical altercation with his wife, even as he said that he will not face any official punishment over the incident. White has been under scrutiny ever since footage emerged of him from a nightclub in Mexico where he slapped his wife, and while they were on vacation for New Year's. UFC spokesman told us ahead of UFC Vegas 67, and he admitted that what he did was wrong and it shouldn't be defended. It was obviously a horrible personal experience. There's no excuses for it. It's something I am going to deal with and live with for the rest of my life. The one thing I do want to clarify that I didn't talk about it on TMZ because I didn't expect it and didn't see coming are the people that are defending me. There's never an excuse. I'm sure you guys read some of the same stuff I've seen. There's no offense for this, and people should not be defending me over this thing no matter what. All criticism I've received last week is 100% warranted and will receive in the future. Yeah, sports names that Dana White has commented on this and saying, to say this is out of care for him is an understatement. Nothing like this has ever happened before, but at once his new conference, Dana said that he wouldn't be disciplined, adding he has been punished already with the scrutiny he has received from media and his family. Wow. Nobody happy about this, he goes on. No, you're my, but it happened and I have to deal with it. What's my punishment? You're my punishment. I got to rock around for how long I live, whether it's 10.4 years or another 25 years. This is how I'm labeled now. Other punishment is I'm sure a lot of people, whether it be media, fighters, friends, and acquaintances who respect for me, might not respect for me now. There's a lot of things I'm going to have to deal with for the rest of my life. There are more of a punishment than what I take a 30-day or 60-day absence. That's not a punishment for me. But that I did, and now I don't have to deal with it. Just No, exactly. His concerts, people say, are just reminding him about this. That's it. Maybe a little bit of cancellation on the media or whatever. Just no actual real consequences at all. Just, you're my punishment. I had to walk around or how long I live saying this. I lost all respect. BS, man. I mean, amazing. This is, to me, amazing how this stuff is. I mean, is it surprising? No. But it does connect to the point that Can Endeavor actually, just right here, all this other stuff here is that will they actually do with Vince McMahon? What will be, there is no real consequence for this, for Vinnie Mac. Of course, there's not going to be any consequences for Dana White or for right now, Vinnie Mac, because he is going to be basically going for a sale at this point. I mean, heck, like I said, like I say here, let me just see right here. See, the stock price is going up and everything, and yeah, the stock rose 70%, and Friday closed at $84. So there wasn't really a consequence for Vince McMahon coming back and getting a sale and paying off. That's it. There's no consequence for Vince McMahon. There is going to be no consequence for his actions. So there is going to be nothing that people are going to be doing. There's nothing for them to do. You understand? Nothing. Nothing is going to happen to old Vinnie Mac. And I could go on. I mean, maybe, that's what it is. Vince McMahon will use this to sell and still be in power. And there is no real consequence because he's going to be rich and powerful and all the Twitters, the YouTube videos, and everything on social media. Including this little podcast here and all the other podcasters that's going on here. Live right now who are very critical of him or ever having all this stuff out of it. Doesn't matter. It doesn't because he has passed that protection and the billionaires, he's going to be a billionaire. He's going to retire as a billionaire. There's no real consequence of Vince McMahon showing up. And not only that, he has basically outlined that he's going to probably not just be you sell WWE. He's going to be in creative, by the way. He will. He will be back in creative. And Hunter will probably go, like I said, go right back to Florida, and that's what's going to happen. He's going to go right back to Florida in NXT. Maybe actually Europe with Regal or whatever. Hell, maybe they might just fire Regal and his son. Vince might be, because he's that cold-blooded. And I saw the stuff on Twitter that, oh man, Nick Khan and then Tony Khan can buy. I'm like, no, they're not. They can make an offer, but that offer is not going to be. He's not going to take that offer. Tony Khan is not going to buy WWE to stop prices and everything else. I think that personally, I think Disney, even though Disney shouldn't do it because the Fox deal has basically wiped them out of savings and everything. They might be, they're probably going to do that. The Fox deal, they really fucked them over. In fact, they didn't even get Sky. They wanted Sky so much, they didn't get Sky, broadcast and all that stuff, which was the main reason why they get the Fox deal. And Disney couldn't get that. It was good to Comcast, which at the end of the day, I believe Comcast is going to get the rights of WWE. Comcast is going to get the rights of WWE. That's what it is. Comcast will probably get it. And NBC already they already ready to storm anyway, so I think they're gonna probably do it and maybe more make more central to it. Because like I said, Disney, they can't really. I mean, Disney, I don't think they have the they might have the capital, but I don't think the Disney board is going to actually let that happen. I don't see Disney actually letting that happen because they're saying, hey, Bob Iger is like, hey, wait a minute, Bob. We brought you back to settle things for the next person who's going to be running this. We don't have time for you going out buying everything else. We already settled with this, like I said. They settled with Fox and all the other properties. Avatar's nice, but they don't have enough. That's not going to, rationalize buying that whole thing. They're buying Fox, even with the Marvel and everything. It's the X-Men and the Fantastic Four and such. It doesn't recognize that. It just it doesn't. It just doesn't work. It just didn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work for them. The Disney deal is probably going to hurt them in the long run. Disney, I think they probably would do it, but again, I don't see much a positive. I don't see a positive for Disney to do it because at the end of the day, they probably got to sell it off anyway. I don't think they need, because right now they have a ton of stuff on Fox. They don't need the stuff. Warner Bros. Discovery, by the way, Warner Bros. Discovery can do it. I'm like, no, they're in the slash mode. They're in slash and burn mode. And I don't see them bringing in another, company. And plus, they already have their drama with, all the other stuff that's going on with Dave Zaslav. I don't think Dave Zaslav wants to have any more headaches with Vince McMahon running stuff. Because that's what it is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it's going to be. If they are sold, Vince McMahon is going to become with it. All the stuff, all the allegations, all the allegations and everything surrounding Vince, that's what it's going to be. That is what it's going to be, ladies and gentlemen. And you can't really, you can't really get rid of that. You can't really get rid of the stench of Vince McMahon. You can't. You can't get rid of the stench of Vinnie Mac. You can't. You just can't. But that's just my personal opinion. Could be wrong. Maybe they can do it. Maybe they can actually just let this stuff happen. Maybe they are just ready just to do that type of stuff. But that's just me. That's what it is. And when you do have this problem with WE, you have this and have the issues of what WE is, like I said with Vince McMahon, it's too much of a toxic stuff. Because not just that, but brands and, the corporate stuff there. I don't think Mattel or maybe, all these other people want to be associated with Vince right now, even if they do sell. Because if it just keeps getting worse for Vince, and who knows, it can be. If it does get worse, who do you think they're going to actually, more often than not, are they going to do something like that? What do you think is going to happen if these lawsuits come to light, and then next year, all this stuff comes out in discovery that Vince did some of this horrible stuff? What's going to be the, that's sort of, to me, that's, that's going to be the issue going forward. That Vince McMahon, like the toxicity of Vince McMahon. And I just think the only people who can probably at least weather the storm of it is probably NBC Universal, Comcast, Apple. They have enough money and they want to go into these big stuff, and WE can be right there on Apple TV. All the Saudis, because they don't care. They don't give they don't give a crap. They love the stuff there. So those are my three picks. I don't see Disney doing it, because if they did, because again, Disney is a family company. Disney is a family company. It is a company that is just, they care about family, teenagers, and everything else. And Vince McMahon showing up in his in WWE and everything else, and those allegations, that hurts their brand immensely. It is very toxic. And if the brands look at this and just be like, if Vince starts costing them money, which probably is going to happen, they will probably drop it. And who knows? I mean, maybe they can negotiate a sale and have Vince not be a part of it, but I don't think that's going to happen, because Vince is now integrally just locked in. Vince McMahon is locked in. He's in. And I don't know how you get out of that, because honestly, it's just going to get worse. I think this is going to get a little bit, well, the old saying goes, it's going to get worse before it gets better if you are, for the wrestlers and such, because that's what it's going to be. That's what I think is going to happen. I think that, there will be people saying, oh, I'll leave. I'm like, well, go and leave, especially if it's the Saudi deal and everything else. I do wish they would have any type of standing and such, but I don't see that happening. I don't. But, I mean, hey, I heard some people saying, hey, if they deal with the Saudis and such, they'll make them employees and they'll make enough money to actually just do things. Isn't that great? Isn't that fun? I'm like, no, they have the money now to do it. WWE has the money and the capital to make every wrestler there and such employees, and they can. But they just don't want to, because they're just very miserly with their money. But it is what it is right now, and I honestly, like I said, Vince McMahon was coming back, and he came back with a vengeance, and I'm just wondering who is going to take this offer. You know, for the memes, I would like say Tony Khan take it just to be that, but I don't think so. I just wish he'd just take some of the WCW stuff that he ain't going to use. I want AEW Starrcade. Instead of Winter is Coming, make it Starrcade. Come on now. AEW Starrcade. Let's go. Come on. I love that. Come on now. Let's see. AEW Starrcade. That'd be fun. But overall, though, people said Vince McMahon scored up. He's come back. And like I said, he will be in that chair again, the creative chair. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. It's not if, it's when. And when that does happen, well, it's going to be a lot more people getting fired again. And then let me tell you, it's the sales imminent right now. Just be, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to say, I'm like, hey, let's be safe. Hopefully everybody safe at this moment, because it could be a very fasten safe bus, man. It's gonna be a very bumpy ride, and here's hoping that the people on that ride won't be too bumpy for them. I'm talking about the employees, the wrestlers, and the referees, the commentators, all of that. I just hope that they're just going to be make sure that they are nice and safe and such. Hopefully not too rocked. And that's it for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for being here. Dukect here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.